All right, guys, welcome to Modern Artisan Wedding Edition. In this episode, we are going to build those white boxes that are holding up those flower vases. We're going to build this amazing hexagon backdrop out of walnut. That's actually my favorite part. That thing is awesome. And then this pallet wood picture holder with aircraft cable and so on. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're working on some boxes for a wedding. Basically just these boxes that are going to go down the aisle, kind of flanking the aisle that some big vases are going to sit on. And the instruction was to make them a certain height and to make them sleek white, painted white, but a real smooth finish. So we went with poplar. And so first thing I did, let me switch the camera around. So these are printed from my iPad. I just kind of draw up some rough sketches and then like a parts list and just kind of dimension everything out, and then I'll have the parts here, how many I need of each. And so we're gonna recess the top down a little bit, and the bottom we're gonna put up like 3.5 inches so we can put some weight on. And so we're gonna do this all with concealed dominoes, no other fastening. All right, so here's our poplar parts. This is two different sizes. We've got one big one, and then we're building 8 more narrow ones like that. And so the way this is going to work, these are 45. Well, first of all, we got just stock poplar boards. You can see in this one that this one actually got cut right through a domino. So you can see this was 2 poplar boards that we just joined and edge glued them. Super easy. So first step was just getting a bunch of stock edge glued so we had the right size pieces. And so then that's the height of the box. This is one of the sides. And so we're 45 here with dominoes going in at a 45. So we ran the domino along the side and okay, and then actually this is upside down. So the way this is going to be is we'll have the bottom of our box here, and that's going to be held up a little ways, and those are dominoed on the edge. This is probably going to be a real pain in the butt to put together. There's a lot of pieces, a lot of dominoes going different directions. But we'll have our bottom here, and like I said, we have it up a little bit because we were thinking we might want to screw some weights or something to the bottom to make it more stable. And then the top is just recessed about an inch or so. And so that the idea was just to have a little rim there, and that was just for the preference of the way it looked. And so we made these blocks here, clamped them on, and that was kind of an easy way to guide the domino in and just make them the same on every piece, rather than measuring and marking and all that. So we're about to assemble this, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a battle, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so here's the first box. This one's actually bigger than, we've got to do one big one like this and 8 small ones. So this is the biggest one. It was kind of a trial run. It went together okay. I don't know that I have enough clamps to do 9 boxes clamped on 4 sides. So we would clamp a section and then just put finish nails in it, and it's all getting painted white. So we will fill those holes. The 45s came together pretty decent. We'll probably put a little wood filler in that too. And just do, there'll be a little bit of prep to do before we paint it. But so there's the top, sits down an inch just like we wanted. And then the bottom sits up higher, so we got room for the weight. So one down, hopefully the others go even faster. All right, so we made some progress on the wedding build today. We've got these boxes everywhere. There's 8 of those small boxes. Those will be flanking the aisle and holding vases full of flowers. And then we've got one big one we made also. And show you this here. We have got this made. So we just made this out of pallet wood. We literally pulled apart some pallets that were sitting on our dock and just put some aircraft cable on them, and those will hold some pictures. I had a couple pieces of cedar around, so we edge glued those, and I'm going to paint that black, and then somebody more artistic than me is going to paint the names in cursive, and then that plaque will be up top there. So things are going good. And what I really wanted to show you that we haven't really started yet, I've got these pieces of walnut here. This is 8/4 walnut, so it's just shy of 2 inches or so, or maybe it's probably solid 2 inches. But anyways, it'll be shy of 2 inches after we plane it. But so we got these big chunks of walnut. I don't think I'm going to get to it today yet, but tomorrow I'm going to get those all cleaned up, planed down. They're looking a little rough and warped, and so we're going to try and clean those up, and then we're going to connect those, and I'll actually need a couple more pieces, and we're going to make this big giant hexagon. This is one of those things that I drew up on paper, and I've never seen anything quite like it, so I'm excited to see how it actually turns out. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's kind of surprisingly bad. But so we'll if we don't like it, then we'll just keep working on it and we'll do something else. Okay, we've got all these boxes that we're going to use for the aisles, and kind of ran a just an 1/8 inch router along the edge. I just got this little handheld Makita I'm using for that. Put a nice little edge. There's just kind of a hairline crack on some of these miters, so I'm going to fill that too, so everything looks good and sleek when it's painted. But otherwise, the boxes are coming along good. I clamped the walnut here overnight, and so we joined these 2 pieces with dominoes, big old dominoes, and then these 2 pieces, and rip these down. So this is what I'm going to use for the hexagon. And so this is getting kind of serious. I got to nail down my pattern, and so I'm going to start drawing on this and see if I come up with something I like, and see if we get lucky with something that looks good. So here we go. Okay, hey guys, it is a sweat box in here. It's 90 degrees. It's the 4th of July, and why am I working? Well, I have a wedding, my daughter's wedding in a few days. So trying to get some pieces done. Making this hexagon, and I just got this doggone thing cut and laid out, and kind of loose fit here, and it looks good. It turned out pretty much the way I wanted, so I'm going to start working on routering some edges, and I might put some fancy grooves in it or something like that, and then joining it all together, sanding it and all that. So let me turn the camera around here. This is let me start over. So these are the drawings, a couple of the drawings I made, and a little bit of math, but pretty much the math checks out. That's it. There it is. One thing that always gets me with these stupid hexagons is it's supposed to be 120 degrees, and so I would think that it's a 60-degree miter to split that, but it's 30. I know it's 30, so I'm just not thinking about it right, but I don't really care to figure out. I know it's 30, but it seems like it should be 60. Anyways, I did a I did a little mock-up, a really little mock-up, just to test out my angles. And I was right, it was 30. But, so moving right along. Okay, I decided to router a small groove along the outside, or not the outside, along the face of the hexagon, just to kind of dress it up just a little bit, kind of classically, but pretty simply. Just use this this little bit here, just did just a slight round indentation, left one groove. So just something to break it up a little bit. But now I'm going to lay out the dominoes, and then we'll put those in and get this thing glued up for the night, so we can work on routering the edge and sanding it and getting ready to spray tomorrow. I've got these feet made for this giant hexagon, and they're made to just slide on there like so. We'll have two of those on the bottom. Frame's looking pretty dang good. It's all sanded. Ooh, sometimes the camera goes funny there. All right, it's all sanded, ready to go. And so I am going to come over here. It's a real talent operating the camera by yourself. And so I've got these dogs, those red stops, I call them dogs. And so they're gonna hold that there. And then I've got this Festo clamp that just puts pressure on it, pushes in. So I'm going to route a little bit of an edge on there and sand them, clean them up a little bit. And then I'm going to polyurethane the whole thing. Normally I would maybe spray lacquer, but we kind of have a dual operation going here. We're getting ready to spray all of the boxes that are holding all the flowers. And so those are ready to go. We're about to spray the first coat. For us, which is always on wood like this, it's always a stain blocker. So I believe we're using like a Sherwin-Williams extreme blocking oil-based paint for that, and then we'll switch to our alkyd urethane coat is what we usually do. So yeah, I'll set up a little camera to do a little time lapse of me working on these feet, and we'll go from there. All right, so we got these pieces. We put I think it was a 3/8 radius router bit. Went around the edges and rounded everything off. Technically, the bottom side, the side that's going towards the ground, that probably should have stayed square. I wasn't really thinking, but it's fine. And normally, like against a flat surface like that, I would just leave it square. Maybe break the edge so people don't get splinters. It doesn't need to be razor sharp, but leave it fairly square. But I rounded it, and that's fine. It'll be okay. guys, the day has come. Not quite there yet, we got several hours to go, but here's those white boxes, and they turned out real good. Just a nice smooth white, kind of sleek finish. And there is the Hexagon at the top, or at the front. And that gets a bunch of flowers on it too, but maybe I'll get some video of that after it's decked out. But I can show you over here the pallet wood picture deal we made. And it's got the name plaque on the top finally, and got some clothesline clips. Basically, there's some just little mini clips that we got from Hobby Lobby. But yeah, that turned out pretty good too. That's a pretty simple deal. Got that black stand behind it. So we'll shoot a little bit of video of the Hexagon when things are all decorated, and that'll be total finished product. Oh, and here's that one box that we made shorter and stouter, a little bigger, and so that just sits next to that, kind of so it's not all by itself. Looks good. And there is the Hexagon. So mission accomplished. We got our cool build done for a one-time event for my daughter's wedding.